only a few Volksgrenadiers, and a forward barracks on a building this damaged. Bad move, a very bad move. It's going to get quickly knocked out, I suspect, and his Volksgrenadiers aren't going to survive much longer anyways. Better to have gotten some Grenadiers or a half-track, but instead wasted the resources in this as the Volksgrenadiers were lost as well. Ostwind forced to pull back as the M10 tank destroyer hunts down the 37mm flak cannon on the Ostwind, of course not able to deal with the armor of the M10, and it destroys the Ostwind. And two MG42 teams in the building, a bit of an odd choice. No further armored assets from the Germans, and we see Panzerfaust being used against the M10, not doing a lot of damage, in fact only halfway with all three, and that's actually 35 munitions per Panzerfaust, which is in fact about 105 munitions to even just knock out half. Not really a good exchange. Forward barracks of course now being taken down again by the American troops, bunker being burned out and fuel point being wrecked. Things are looking bad for the German Grenadier Division, which has so far tried to just rely on Volksgrenadiers, and for some reason it looks like ECRelax is stocking up a lot of manpower. In fact, he's floating, I don't know how much manpower. He could have been using that for calling in airborne, further snipers, something, instead of just floating all this manpower. And what says ECZygor? Still no doctrine. Anti-tank guns now moving ahead. Volksgrenadiers heavily suppressed, but making some progress. Sniper down. And looks like the vertical is caught out in open, but quickly retreats before it's too late. Mortar fire hitting in on the suppressed troops who can't move fast enough to get out of the rain, the bombardment, but a forced retreat. Riflemen caught out in the open by now. Veterans see three Volksgrenadiers who have more health, a bit harder to damage and a bit harder to hit, making them a bit more useful at the assault role. Airborne pulling out, since they can't deal with these very deadly trained Volksgrenadiers. At least not at the current moment. Engineers taking up the building with the flamethrower, and the M10 holding out in the east. And we see a Panzer IV, something certainly a bit more useful for the wehrmacht, able to deal with both infantry and armor, and able to also conduct an assault itself, although still would preferable to use infantry support. Killing some riflemen who are now caught out in the open, taking heavy machine gun fire as well. Plenty of pioneers to repair it. Riflemen forced to pull back, and looks like the Panzer IV is going to move in and deal with this building, which has seen a lot of damage. Numerous walls blown out, not leaving a lot left to hide in. And now riflemen are moving forward, probably going to try and throw a sticky bomb. One rifleman down, and a sticky bomb, no, didn't go off. Further, two riflemen down to the Panzer IV workhorse of the Panzer divisions. And a sticky bomb finally goes off on the Panzer IV, but not before most of the Americans have been lost. A anti-tank gun moving in now, probably going to use anti-armor piercing shells, which means it'll do a lot of damage. The Panzer IV trying to get into cover behind the building, manages to do so, but it really needs some support, and we get it from the Volksgrenadiers who are moving in to scare off the anti-tank gun, doing heavy damage to it. In fact, might even kill off the crew. Counter mortar fire perhaps. No, it was the Panzer IV killing off the mortar crew, in fact. And will the Wehrmacht commander seize the mortar? No, he does not, sadly. Anti-tank gun cleared out. Further Volksgrenadiers, in fact, a large Volksgrenadier force. Perhaps I was mistaken as to the nature of this force, as there aren't actually any Grenadiers. Anyways, anti-tank gun cleared out. Panzerfaust going off on the armored car. Further Volksgrenadier forces moving in. Oh, we do finally have a Grenadier team at 3 as well. Only Panzer 6 to support it though. And actually no other anti-tank assets. Looks like 606 will have to move in his Panzer IV to provide armor support for the forces of doteee, who are now going to be facing a Sherman tank. going to be very dangerous for the Wehrmacht forces. Volksgrenadier is now pinned down in front of this building. Heavy BAR fire, in fact, pinning them down. They're going to have to go back to another position, and anti-tank guns stolen from the American forces and pull back. Still nothing on the mortar. Would have been useful though. Setting up in a nice rear position, which means it's going to have a good time to react to any armored incursions. Not be so obvious to enemy fire. Firing a bit at the American riflemen now. Machine guns setting up. M10 rushing in, perhaps no. Stalking slowly. Fighting continuing on the western force flank as the Grenadiers and Volksgrenadiers moving in further. Panzerschreck equipped Grenadiers for doteee. Machine gun cleared out, and looks like the Sherman took some damage and was forced to pull back for repairs. Lots of back and forth action. The Germans managing to stabilize the situation now that the Panzer force come in, but looks like we have a doctrine choice for ECZygor infantry. Howitzer fire raining in on the Panzer's position, the Panzer narrowly avoiding it, but the Volksgrenadiers and Pioneers left behind were taken out by his troops, leaving only the Panzer IV and Ostwind to hold the line. Looks like the Ostwind took a bit of howitzer fire, leaving a bit damaged. Sherman still a bit damaged, but forced to move forward to prevent any further surges from the Wehrmacht infantry, who have actually taken substantial losses at this moment. Panzerschrecks firing away. Veterans one for the Sherman, meaning it can move faster. Further Panzerschreck rockets probably going to hit it or not. Yes, one going off, missing the ground though. Pioneers suppressed under all the automatic fire from the Pioneers, forcing a retreat, and the Wehrmacht troops are going to need reinforcements, probably from a half-track if they're going to survive. And nothing in the Wehrmacht base of doteee, nothing here either. Wait, we saw something, and a Krieg barracks going up as well. Might be that 606 is realizing he needs Grenadiers as well to really push the advantage, since Volksgrenadiers can only do so much, in particular with no veterancy. Although I'd certainly be impressed if someone could give me a replay where they use Volksgrenadiers only as their main infantry. That would certainly be impressive, and of course win against a decent opponent. But let's see what's going on. Ostwind pinning down the riflemen, keeping them in cover and forcing them back. In fact, Volksgrenadiers conducting another human wave assault. Panzerfaust almost knocking out the M10. Panzer IV not moving in to help. Sniper fire and MG42 moving in. A forward barracks going up in this by now really bad at building. A nasty habit both sides have of using really damaged buildings for forward barracks, since it won't take much to blow the building up permanently, meaning that's going to be wasted manpower. Volksgrenadiers pulling back once the human wave attack has done its. And we see the German forces pulling back for reinforcements. A forward barracks have been set up slightly behind at a not so forward position. Certainly not bad, but could have its own disadvantages. Further Pioneers moving in, and we are seeing something out of 606's Krieg barracks. A Pak 38 on the way. No veterancy though, might be helpful in particular for the Panzer IV, which has so far managed many more kills than the Ostwind Flak Panzer. And we have a small lull in the battle as both sides are gearing up for fresh offensives.
We are losing territory.
German Commander Hauptmann doteee rather heavy on the Grenadiers and Volksgrenadiers. No actual armor or mechanized assets, and we see the pack moving up while 606 has a mix of armor and Volksgrenadiers. Ostwind forcing back the riflemen, it seems, or at least discouraging their attempt at seizing the fuel point. Panzer IV remaining behind, not moving forwards though. Anti-tank gun moving in to cover this area. Riflemen caught out in the open, going to suffer heavy fire from Panzer IV and Volksgrenadiers. And pulling out with barely only one man alive, leaving behind a trail of wounded bodies. Howitzer fire going in on the Volksgrenadiers, going to have to pull back. Oh no. Sniper fire killing further, and more and more foot grenadiers are falling out in the open. The human wave attack showing why it doesn't really always work. Anti-tank gunfire going on the Ostwind. Volksgrenadier team wiped out, leaving only the MP40 good ones behind, who are using craters to make their advance, but it's going to get very dangerous, in particular now that further riflemen are moving in. And looks like doteee has been forced back by the armored forces of ECRelax and his airborne from the 101st Division, forced to pull back and regroup with all his grenadiers with their many Panzerschrecks. A full rout is never good, in particular with such a lot of force. Could have been accidental, but I don't know. We'll see what's going to happen. Still no attempt at re-seizing the mortar. I'd recommend that, in particular since I could certainly boost the Allies' defense of this area. A mortar is always good for exactly that. And looks like 606 is, and I by the way moved back to ECZygor now to see what he's up. Only the howitzer though, and no further infantry reinforcements. Further Volksgrenadiers. He's not really getting anything beyond that. Seems a bit wasteful. And a large infantry assault force moving out from the Germans. A small second lull, and Rangers being prepared for ECZygor. Rangers lead the way. Riflemen moving out, probably going to try and cover the flank, and now it looks like the Germans are moving up for the assault, moving into their assault positions, it seems. Mines going up in preparation for a probably predicted counterattack. This is going to end badly for doteee, I suspect. Indeed, caught out in the open, charging in. Oh dear, moving in one huge blob. A grenade could do a lot of damage. Mines could do a lot of damage. Sherman, yes, mine going off, suppressing numerous grenadiers, and now they are at the mercy of the Sherman tank opening fire, and further mines hit. Going very badly, and a armored assault on the eastern half of the map. Panzer, and Ostflank moving in. Anti-tank gun cleared out. The armored push actually succeeding in doing some damage, although the M10 is going to perhaps even knock out the Panther. Sticky bomb going off on the Ostwind. Grenadiers moving and edging their way towards the American positions, and M10 moving in to somehow make a difference. I'm not sure. Machine gun now suppressing all the grenadiers, and Volksgrenadiers going to be nasty. Sherman continuing to open fire, and riflemen moving in as well. Building almost collapsed. Another Panzerschreck, yes, and it collapses, killing the remaining crew. And a full round from the Germans, it seems. The armored forces of 606 making a further advance. Looks like the mortar was recruited, but now blown to bits again. The remains of the German armored forces. Heavily damaged, no veterancy, and any, say, attack from these would have changed. And it looks like the Allies have won the day, having held the victory point for long enough. The Germans not being able to hold on to it. And indeed, I hope you learned something from this battle. Among those, you shouldn't always, as the wehrmacht, rely so heavily on Volksgrenadiers and not use human wave attacks. They only get used so far, in particular against riflemen with BARs. And had they worked more together, they probably would have succeeded. That was the difference between the two commanders, or the two sides, with EC Company troops being able to actually work together and combine assaults on both positions, whereas the Wehrmacht commanders were for the most part working by themselves, not moving in to support the other while the other was getting beaten up. Also, I'd not agree with the one commander's decision to just go directly for the Panzer command without actually getting anything to support his troops in between those. And of course, this set of human wave attacks not really useful in the long run either, in particular since the Sherman and such were able to push it back. But I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not subscribe? And this is Imperial Danish saying human wave attacks don't work unless you're Russian and have the numbers for it. Cheers.